Great North Woods to the Rockbound Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Today on Good Morning Maine, one man is dead and another is behind bars following a deadly police chase.
Plus a disturbing find inside some Easter eggs that were discovered in a Bangor park.
And dozens turn out to raise awareness about autism during a special walk in Ellsworth. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you for watching this morning. We'll have all the day's news coming up over the next hour, including some interesting things to tell you about as well. But first, check with that forecast, and it's looking like a real nice day ahead. Partly cloudy skies. We'll see some sunshine, temperatures up near 60 degrees. Spring is finally here, folks.
Can you say it's a beautiful day?
Yeah.
Here's Devin Biggs with that forecast.
Hey, Craig and Emma, thank you very much. As we get things rolling on this Wednesday, some areas waking up to a little bit of fog this morning. That will be going away as we'll see a good amount of sunshine. Radar and satellite is looking rather clear this morning, so no precipitation, just a little bit of fog in a few spots, but otherwise a nice day in store for us. A little bit of precipitation further off towards the north and a lot more further down toward the south, but we have some nice weather taking place for us this morning and throughout the rest of the day. So a lot of sunshine, maybe some clouds later this afternoon, more clouds, maybe some sprinkles further off towards the north today, but later on tonight, clouds to the north and a lot of clear skies coming up for us. But otherwise, some gusty winds could reach up to 20 to 25 miles per hour today. The wind's starting to calm down later on tonight and looking pretty good as we head towards tomorrow as well. So for today, pretty simple forecast, 60 degrees, partly cloudy, a little breezy out there with that west wind getting up to about 25 miles per hour. Tonight, mid-30s, mostly clear, calm overall. So again, pretty peaceful evening on the way for us. And then for tomorrow, lower 60s, slightly warmer, increasing clouds throughout the day, and the northwest breeze at about 5 miles per hour. Your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon periods showing some clouds, otherwise temperatures making into the 50s and 60s, and some sunshine mixed in too. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Emma?
Thank you, Devin. We'll have a look at that full 5-day forecast a little later on. First up this morning, authorities are investigating a crash that killed one person and injured 3 others in Washington County. That crash was the result of a chase that started in Hancock County.
Hancock County Sheriff's Lieutenant Dakota Dupuy says a little after 6:30 Saturday night, a deputy was conducting a traffic enforcement detail on Route 9 in Aurora when he saw a vehicle with mechanical defects traveling in the oncoming lane and was also traveling above the posted speed limit. Dupuy says the deputy attempted to stop the car and it did come to a brief stop before the driver accelerated rapidly and then fled from the scene.
A pursuit began that went through several towns. The car eventually crashed in Wesley. 3 occupants fled on foot. Dupuy says over the course of 16 hours, they were all apprehended and given medical attention. The driver, 22-year-old James Nile of Bangor, was arrested and is facing numerous charges, including aggravated eluding, aggravated driving to endanger, and operating after suspension. He was on probation already for burglary at the time of the crash. One of the passengers, 39-year-old John Brainscombe of Bangor, died from his injuries. Police say more charges could be forthcoming.
Meanwhile, 2 people died after a vehicle crashed into a tree and burst into flames in Reedfield. Kennebec County Sheriff Chief Deputy Chris Reed says it happened on Main Street just before 1 a.m. on Monday. Reed says it is believed the SUV is the same vehicle that passed the state police trooper on the North Road in Reedfield earlier that night while traveling in excess of 70 miles per hour.
He says the trooper was unable to locate the vehicle and continued driving around the area before coming upon the crash scene. 2 people were inside the SUV. The medical examiner's office is working to verify their identities. Reed says the preliminary investigation shows speed may have been a contributing factor in the crash. The investigation is ongoing. In other news, a man is facing charges after being accused of firing a gun towards homes in Benton. The Department of Public Safety says it was called to Unity Road in Benton around 11:30 on Tuesday morning. They had received calls that a man was walking down the road and recklessly firing a pistol. Troopers quickly responded and found 32-year-old Joseph Costa and transported him to a hospital for evaluation.
He was then arrested and charged with 12 counts of aggravated reckless conduct with a firearm and 1 count of firing a gun near a dwelling. Authorities say Costa is homeless and is now being held without bail. Police say no one was injured, and troopers hope to hear from anyone who witnessed that incident. Well, authorities are also investigating a man's death in Acadia National Park. That man's body was found around 4 o'clock Monday afternoon in a pullout along the Schoodic Loop Road near Winter Harbor.
According to the Bangor Daily, the unidentified man was found outside his vehicle, and a cause of death hasn't yet been confirmed. His body was transported to Augusta for an autopsy, and the National Park Service is investigating the case. Moving on now, a disturbing discovery on Easter Sunday is now coming to light. A couple from Bangor says they discovered dozens of Easter eggs at a local park, each containing flyers spreading white supremacist propaganda. Samuel Woodman and Paige Fairbanks were at the park along 2nd Street in Bangor on Easter Sunday when one of their children noticed an Easter egg. Woodman says he went to open it and expected to find candy. Instead, he discovered flyers with false statistics targeting Black people and a link to a website with anti-Semitic messages. The Bangor residents took to social media to warn other parents of their findings.
I was disgusted. I was like 100% disgusted because this stuff shouldn't be at a children's park.
Even if these statistics were true, which clearly they are not, that why somebody would take the time to print these out, fold them up into tiny little Easter eggs, and then leave them at kids' parks.
Woodman says since posting on social media about the flyers, he's received hateful messages and even death threats. We reached out to the Bangor Police Department regarding the flyers, and police say they've not yet received any complaints.
Well, a consumer protection bill aimed at helping people buy event tickets has passed a committee in the Maine legislature. Senate President Maddie Daughtry sponsored the bill, which she says would regulate speculative ticket sales and deceptive sales practices. She says the bill would also guarantee price transparency.
Daughtry says, quote, "For many, the exorbitant ticket fees at the end of the checkout process have made attending events feel out of reach, while others feel scammed one too many times and simply don't want to risk it anymore." LD 913 represents a meaningful step towards protecting Maine event goers and small venues alike, while also preserving Maine's rich, independent, live events culture. The bill is expected to be voted on in the coming weeks. In other news, after nearly 2 centuries in publication, the Ellsworth American and its sister newspapers, which include the Mount Desert Islander and Mid-Coast Villager, will be making a change. According to a story published in the Ellsworth American, the 2 papers will no longer be published in Ellsworth. Instead, come June, the papers will be printed in South Portland. The change will impact about 10 employees who currently work at One Printing House Square. According to the article, Ellsworth American publisher Chris Crockett says news coverage and delivery schedules will stay the same. The owner of the Ellsworth American, Reed Brower, says consolidating print operations will help with long-term stability. He noted that the current printing press located in Ellsworth is old and would cost too much money to replace, so they need to use other printing facilities.
So many other news same around the country, too.
I know. It really reflects readership is going online, or has been online for quite some time.
Yeah.
All right, the time now is 8:09. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, some local police officers put on boxing gloves to help fight a disease that impacts the lives of many Mainers. We'll hear why coming up.
But first, another check of that weather forecast. A nice day ahead today, partly cloudy and wet and breezy with highs near 60 degrees. Mostly clear tonight with lows dropping down to the mid-30s. Tomorrow, the clouds increase once again with highs near 62 degrees. We'll be right back.
Next Level dog people give their dogs next level protection with NexGuard Plus. One and done monthly parasite protection against fleas, ticks, heartworm disease, roundworms, and hookworms. Used with caution in dogs with a history of seizures or neurologic disorders. Get next level protection with NexGuard Plus.
Need struts? RockAuto.com has budget, standard, and premium options. Wiper blades, frame, beam, or winter. Click the info button for features and benefits.
All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
Why should your new floor come from Carpet One? Because we're passionate about the spaces our neighbors call home. We're part of your community, and we're also part of the world's largest cooperative of independently owned and operated flooring stores. So you can be sure you'll get great selection and outstanding value with every installation. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, tile, or luxury vinyl, our experts take the guesswork out of choosing the right floor. We're your local Carpet One Floor and Home, the one store for your perfect floor.
Jamar Construction Products in Bangor continues to grow to meet our customers' needs, supplying products for site work contractors, concrete contractors, and survey and safety supplies. We are proud to be the local dealer for Hilti, Valley Blades, U.S. Fabrics, and Euclid Chemical, plus so much more. Stop by and see us at 1270 Hammond Street or give us a call at 907-4491. If you dig it, pour it, plow it, fasten it, lay it, or lift it, Jamar Construction Products can help you.
Major League Baseball on Fox.
What I'm doing, getting right to it. The money is talking, I'm flowing, it's coming in just how I do it. Yeah, can't stop, won't stop. Yeah, it's been on live. You don't believe it, just watch.
Jaw-dropping stuff. Major League Baseball all season long on Fox.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. America's second largest pharmacy chain agrees to settle claims over controlled substance prescriptions for hundreds of millions of dollars. Walgreens has entered into a settlement with the U.S. Justice Department and will pay $300 million over unlawful fulfillment of millions of opioid and other controlled substance prescriptions that were not valid. The Justice Department says Walgreens also violated the Controlled Substances Act and the False Claims Act. The agency claims that the chain sought reimbursements from federal health care programs and pressured workers to fill prescriptions without proper procedures. The department dropped its case against Walgreens after the settlement. The pharmacy chain did not admit liability as part of the agreement and says its pharmacists work to fight opioid and other misuse and abuse.
Well, on Tuesday, the morning's rain didn't stop hundreds from turning out for Down East Horizon's annual Autism Awareness Walk held in Ellsworth.
Our Alex Schley tells us why organizers say events like this benefit both participants and onlookers.
So much more than like the little boxes some people would put us in.
At Knowlton Park in Ellsworth Tuesday, local nonprofit Down East Horizons hosted their 12th annual Walk for Autism Awareness.
Spreading awareness again. This is not a isolated thing. Autism is something that is throughout our communities.
The group of over 200 participants from Dover Foxcroft to Bar Harbor walked through downtown Ellsworth, proudly holding up Autism Walk signs, while drivers honked in support. Zambrano says the event helps build confidence for many who are involved.
We have them walking an autism walk with a bunch of people, and that's something that bothered them before, and we support them through it. And then they all of a sudden realize it's not so bad. And then when they're down on their own, they're in a crowd, they can get by. They can survive.
Participant Tyler Davis says he was bothered by comments made last week by Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. about autism. Davis says Kennedy claimed autism destroys families and that children with the diagnosis are suffering. He hopes events like the Autism Awareness Walk will help shine a light on the truth about what it really means to live with autism.
He was very clear in his words that he thought anyone with autism was the most extreme version of it, when in truth we are this spectrum where there are, yes, sadly some people who are that, but there's so many thousands of us who can do all kinds of things. There are people who play professional baseball. There are so many riders, so many. And there's actors like Anthony Hopkins, for example.
In Ellsworth, I'm Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, in recognition of April being Parkinson's Disease Awareness Month, some local police officers put on their boxing gloves and partnered up with a group that is helping people fight back against the disease one punch at a time.
Our Grace Blanchard with that story.
Out, move, in, punch.
thousands of Mainers are battling the daily challenges of Parkinson's disease.
When I first came here, I couldn't even get out.
The group Rock City Boxing Bold Coast has designed an exercise program that they say has proven to slow the progression of the disease.
We've seen people start out with walkers or with canes that end up not having to use them. We see people's confidence growing.
That's what we work on in here, is really excessive exercise, pushing hard, pushing beyond your limit to fight back against what Parkinson's takes.
This week, the group was joined by officers from Holden and Ellsworth PD who are hoping to raise awareness while connecting with the community.
And a lot of people have been affected by the disease, and this is a wonderful program to fight back against Parkinson. So it was a great opportunity for us to be here and join this group.
For participants like Pauline Levesque, who was diagnosed nearly 3 years ago, this program has been life-changing.
I don't think there are words that can describe what this means to me. It's something that I wish everybody knew.
The group aims to see participants leave each session with a greater sense of hope.
Hope that they can get better. They're not alone. They got a group of people that they can hang out with. And you see deep friendships being formed here. I mean, we've become a family.
In Brewer, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Rock City Boxing Bold Coast is also holding a Parkinson's Awareness Walk this Saturday along the Bucksport waterfront. To learn more, you can visit our website at foxbangor.com.
What a nice thing to do.
So many people are busy spreading awareness about important causes. I love to hear it. Okay, the time now is 8:16. After the break, wildfires break out in New Jersey, forcing thousands to evacuate. We'll have a look on the ground.
Plus, that full local forecast coming up on Good Morning Maine.
The circus is coming! The circus is coming!
Don't miss this exciting new show featuring motocross, aerial acts, chair balancing, unicycling, high wire, Zuzu acrobats, and an all-new ringmaster. The Anna Shrine Circus, April 25th, 26th, and 27th at the Bangor Cross Insurance Center.
I just want to tell you, I'm sick of politicians in Washington, D.C. picking my pocket for their own political gains.
And now they're trying to take away the clean energy tax credits.
That would kill thousands of good-paying Maine jobs. Gone, just like that.
And for what? Tax cuts for the rich?
And who's that going to help?
Not my family.
We need Susan Collins and Jared Golden to stand with us. Tell Senator Collins and Congressman Golden to protect the clean energy tax credits.
When you're ready to remodel your kitchen, find all the materials and services you need at Hammond Lumber Company. Get inspired by the extensive in-store displays in Hammond's kitchen, bath, and flooring division. Hammond's designers will help you visualize your space before the work begins, and all design fees are refunded when you purchase your materials from them. And Hammond delivers from 22 locations across Maine and New Hampshire. When it's time for a new kitchen, it's time to bring your vision to Hammond Lumber Company, your building project partner.
There isn't a wrong way to communicate when it comes to empowering families to stay up to date on routine vaccines.
Will you show me?
Visit immunizeme.org to learn how to download DACA to check immunization records. This message brought to you by Maine CDC, this station, and the Maine Association of Broadcasters.
The circus is coming! The circus is coming!
Don't miss this exciting new show featuring motocross, aerial acts, chair balancing, unicycling, high wire, Zuzu acrobats, and an all-new ringmaster. The Anna Shrine Circus, April 25th, 26th, and 27th at the Bangor Cross Insurance Center.
Oh, I have to read this.
Yes, you do.
Welcome back, everyone. Wildfires in New Jersey have prompted thousands of evacuations and forced the closure of one of the state's busiest highways. A woman caught in gridlock traffic while evacuating said it really looked like a war zone. The Garden State Parkway was closed yesterday between Bernadette and Lacey Townships. According to the New Jersey Fire Service, over 1,300 structures have been reportedly threatened by the blaze, with about 3,000 forced to evacuate. The blaze was only about 10% contained as of last night, but there have been no reports of any injuries. Shelters have been opened at 2 different high schools in the area. New Jersey fire officials say the cause of the blaze is still under investigation today.
If we can just keep that footage right there for a second, that really does look like a war zone.
Yeah, look how close it is to the houses there too.
That is a nightmare. I mean, I've driven through Oregon as there were wildfires right up against the highway, and it didn't. And those folks are experienced with dealing with wildfires out there, but that is not like anything I've seen. That's crazy.
Yeah, it could happen in Maine too. We have a very forested state. That's why they're warning right now to be real careful with any outdoor burning until things green up at least, and get those burn permits.
Get those burn permits for sure. All right, the time now is 8:20.
Let's get a full look at our local weather forecast.
Alrighty, Craig and Emma, thank you very much. On this Wednesday, we have no advisories in effect on land or even along the coast, so we're starting off with the wave heights this morning. Not too bad overall, 3 feet according to the buoys nearby, some darker blues nearby too. So overall, the wave height's pretty relaxed, and farther out towards sea, a little bit more active, but overall 3 to 4 foot wave heights are being observed at this moment in time, so nothing too ridiculous going on here. I haven't shown you the water temperatures in a bit, and of course still cold out there, lower 40s for those water temperatures at this moment in time, a little bit warmer farther out towards sea. On land, some areas of dense fog greeting us this morning, maybe reducing things in Washington County, even near the Bangor area too. We'll get any kind of fog out of here today with a nice day on the way with a good amount of sunshine. Overall, again, not looking too bad, maybe some precipitation off toward the north, and again, overall, a lot of sunshine on the way for us, and maybe some clouds as we head towards the afternoon period. Larger pictures showing a little bit of precipitation further down toward the south in a few spots, including parts of Texas, even across parts of the Midwest. But again, we're in that nice spot where things are staying dry at this moment in time. So maybe a few sprinkles further off towards the north today, but in our neck of the woods, a lot of sunshine, maybe some clouds for the afternoon period. Coming up later on tonight, any clouds that develop, we'll be getting out of here. We'll be under a mostly clear sky. Again, some clouds lingering further off towards the north. Then once we head towards your Thursday, overall we'll have increasing clouds throughout the day, thankfully less wind. Then even by Thursday night, watching out for some rain that will be developing. Otherwise, again, gusty winds reaching up to 20 to 25 miles per hour today, calming down later on tonight, and even for tomorrow, not looking too bad either. So fortunately, we just had to get through today, and we're looking good. Maybe later into the afternoon, maybe some gusty winds along the coast. Temperatures recently, we had a nice warm stretch from Friday of last week through at least Monday, with temperatures overall that were in the 60s. And yesterday, of course, a little bit cooler, 47 degrees. That's about 9 degrees or so below normal. Our average high temperature should be at around 57 degrees, and we'll be above that today in the lower to middle 60s coming up over the next few days. Low 60s today and tomorrow, mid 60s Friday, then low 50s Saturday, back in the 50s and 60s Sunday, Monday, and also into your Tuesday. For today, low 60s, partly cloudy and breezy, west wind at around 25 miles per hour. By tonight, mid 30s, mostly clear with the wind overall looking nice and calm. Tomorrow, low 60s, increasing clouds, northwest wind at about 5 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast. So mostly cloudy for your Friday with highs in the mid 60s. Low 50s Saturday, we cool off with rain moving in, and a small chance for rain showers Sunday, otherwise partly cloudy with highs in the upper 50s.
Blazing Trails, located in Lincoln, is your #1 trusted caregiver storefront. From personalized consultations to the highest quality product, Blazing Trails provides outstanding patient services to Eastern and Central Maine. Discover how we're blazing the trails to quality holistic medicine.
Hey Red Sox fans, you've got to play You Pick 'em Red Sox at foxbangor.com. Local weekly winners receive prizes from Quality Automotive in Brewer or from Chick-fil-A. Register now at foxbangor.com. You Pick 'em Red Sox is sponsored by Blazing Trails on the River Road in Lincoln, First National Bank, Rose Bicycle on Pine Street in Orono, and Twin City Tile on State Street in Brewer.
We've got a 100-year-old company here, and it's because of the service, the quality, and the experience. It gets done right.
I think we've been doing it for so long. the only thing that we do, that when we walk into a room, we automatically know how to treat that window. We can take any product that the customer is looking for and make it work in just about any situation that they present us with. So
There's no reason to be overwhelmed. We can help you through it.
we're not going anywhere. We've been around for 100 years.
Here at Twin City Tire and Service, you will be working with industry professionals. We have ASE certified master technicians and certified tire and lube technicians. If we need your vehicle for a duration of time, we offer a complimentary shuttle service and can even offer a loaner vehicle. Being a client at Twin City Tire and Service means that we will treat you right. This includes a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on mechanical repairs. We also provide you with 1 year of complimentary roadside assistance. Come see us today at Twin City Tire and Service in Brewer.
Blazing Trails, located in Lincoln, is your #1 trusted caregiver storefront. From personalized consultations to the highest quality product, Blazing Trails provides outstanding patient services to Eastern and Central Maine. Discover how we're blazing the trails to quality holistic medicine.
This morning, a new warning about the impact of President Trump's tariffs on the global economy. It comes as markets rallied on Tuesday after the president claimed he has no intention of firing the Fed chairman, Jerome Powell.
ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the latest from Washington.
This morning, a warning from the International Monetary Fund about President Trump's tariffs. The IMF saying the tariffs will likely slow economic growth across the globe, with the United States taking a significant hit. It comes as Wall Street is on track for its worst April since the Great Depression, and the White House tries to reassure anxious investors. The administration now saying the trade standoff with China is moving in the right direction, but offered no specifics.
We're doing fine with China. We're doing fine with I think almost every country. Everybody wants to have involvement with the United States.
But behind closed doors, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent telling J.P. Morgan something very different, acknowledging China is going to be a slog in terms of the negotiations. ABC pressed President Trump about Bessent's remarks about the Chinese president.
Mr. President, you said you're ultimately going to make a deal with China, but where do things stand right now? I mean, have you talked to him? The secretary said these negotiations are going to be a slog.
My relationship with President Xi is great.
So you've talked?
It's been great for a long time. We've had a very good relationship, and I think we'll make a deal with China.
Markets rallied on Tuesday after Bessent said that the U.S. is looking to de-escalate the trade war with China. And after weeks of criticism, President Trump saying Tuesday, at least for now, that he won't fire Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, even though it's not clear he has any authority to do so. The IMF predicts U.S. economic growth will come in at just 1.8% this year, down sharply from its previous forecast of 2.7%, and a full percentage point below its 2024 expansion. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Well, meanwhile, an important ruling is expected to come from the U.S. Supreme Court that would give parents more of a say in the lessons children learn at schools.
ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the story.
This morning, the Supreme Court appears likely to allow parents to opt their children out of public elementary school lessons that conflict with their religious beliefs. The case centers on a group of interfaith families in Montgomery County, Maryland, who objected to their children being read books with LGBTQ characters and themes. They say this isn't about censoring books, it's about respecting their faith.
We have certain tenets in our religion that contradict some of the teachings that we're being taught.
But Emily McCowan, a parent in a same-sex marriage, says these books reflect reality.
These books are representing the community that is surrounding these children. You cannot deny that we exist. We live here. Our kids go to school here.
The school system in Maryland initially allowed parents to opt their kids out, but later said the program had become a logistical nightmare and ran counter to inclusion. The justices, during arguments yesterday, wrestled with where to draw the line between exposure to such materials and coercion, which is forbidden under the First Amendment.
It's not just exposure to the idea, right? It's saying this is the right view of the world. This is how we think about things. This is how you should think about things. This is like 2 + 2 is 4.
Is merely being exposed to the reading of the book out loud coercion? Is looking at two men getting married, is that the religious objection?
A lawyer from Montgomery County argued federal courts should not decide curriculum disputes, noting that the county school board was democratically elected. But the conservative justices question how this is different from excusing your child from other activities or classes.
What is the big deal about allowing them to opt out of this? They're able to opt out of the health class, right?
Justice Kagan warning that could be a slippery slope.
It'll be like, opt-outs for everyone.
The court is expected to issue a ruling in June. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Tuesday was Earth Day, and Environmental Protection Agency Administrator Lee Zeldin traveled to California to address a sewage crisis that's been affecting residents for years.
But critics are calling out him and the Trump administration for rolling back environmental regulations. Fox's Mike Emanuel reports from Washington.
EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin marked Earth Day with a trip to California to assess a decades-long sewage crisis along the U.S.-Mexico border. Residents in San Diego's South Bay continue to deal with gallons of raw sewage pouring over the border, affecting their quality of life.
It's a public health ticking time bomb.
Zeldin's visit comes after the EPA denied local requests to designate the Tijuana River Valley as a federal Superfund cleanup site. During his visit, Zeldin said Mexico needs to step up.
They cannot view this as a U.S. problem just because their contamination reached U.S. soil.
Critics are calling Zeldin's trip on Earth Day hypocritical as the Trump administration pumps the brakes on EPA regulations. Back in March, the EPA announced more than 24 moves that would deregulate policies advocates say protect clean air and water. Zeldin says the administration is reviewing regulations that place financial burdens on energy companies, and that will boost energy production and lower energy costs for Americans.
I have a zero tolerance for any waste and abuse.
Among the regulations being reconsidered, greenhouse emissions from gas and coal-fired power plants, rules that limit toxic metal output from coal plants, and emission standards for cars and trucks. Critics of these cutbacks fear they will worsen the human impacts on climate change and increase the impact of air pollutions on Americans' health. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
Well, this morning, Pope Francis's body, carried in a solemn procession, moved from his Vatican residence to St. Peter's Basilica. Dozens of clergymen leading his open coffin through a crowd in St. Peter's Square. His coffin will now rest at St. Peter's Basilica for 3 days. The public will be allowed to pay their respects until his funeral is held on Saturday. Leaders from all around the world will be there on Saturday, including President Trump and First Lady Melania. The world's attention will also soon turn to who will come next, as the conclave, the secret gathering of cardinals in the Sistine Chapel, may not begin for a few weeks. The question is, will it be a similarly progressive pope like Francis, or someone more conservative that the cardinals will select?
And coming up on the second half of the newscast, we'll check out a small business in Montville that says the more diversity in their trade, the better.
That story and more coming up on Good Morning Maine.
At Ellsworth IV Infusion and Wellness, we are here to help you look and feel your best, inside and out. Jumpstart your health journey with medical weight loss and rejuvenate your wellness with nutritional IV infusions. Renew your skin with facials or relax with soothing massage therapy.
Your favorite restaurants were half off. It's half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7. Go to foxbangor.com, click on half off dining, and start saving now.
Discover the charm of Warren's Waterfront Restaurant, Bucksport's only waterfront dining. Relax in a cozy atmosphere where every visit feels like home. Indulge in fresh, flavorful dishes paired with stunning river views. Join us at Warren's Waterfront, your perfect escape.
Great restaurants from all over Eastern Maine at half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7.
At Ellsworth IV Infusion and Wellness, we are here to help you look and feel your best, inside and out. Jumpstart your health journey with medical weight loss and rejuvenate your wellness with nutritional IV infusions. Renew your skin with facials or relax with soothing massage therapy.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Welcome back, everyone. Today is Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025, and it is also National Take a Chance Day.
This is a day to stick your neck out and go for it. Taking chances doesn't come naturally for a lot of us, but there's no better way to reach for your dreams than taking a leap of faith. Whether it's starting a new business, asking someone to prom, or going on a scary roller coaster, this is a day to throw caution to the winds and give it a try.
You never know how it's going to turn out. It might turn out great.
I know, I love this day. This makes me think about how there's only so much advice you can ask for, there's only so much evidence and information you can collect. At a certain point, you just have to decide, you know, I want to do this so bad, I think it's worth the risk.
Sometimes you just have to take that first step, though.
And I urge you to do so.
Yeah. All right. Time to talk about history now. It was on this day back in 1635, a long time ago. The Boston Public Latin School was established in Massachusetts, becoming the nation's very first public school. In 1898, Spain declared war on the United States, and the U.S. responded in kind just a couple of days later. It began with the sinking of the USS Battleship Maine in Havana Harbor and resulted in the U.S. acquiring sovereignty over Puerto Rico, Guam, the Philippines, and as a protectorate of Cuba. 1939, Boston Red Sox great Ted Williams hit his first home run, and in 1971, hundreds of Vietnam War veterans opposed to the conflict staged a massive protest in Washington. They tossed their medals and ribbons over a wire fence that was constructed in front of the U.S. Capitol building.
In 1985, Coca-Cola launched their ill-fated new formula known officially as New Coke. The effort to re-energize the brand turned out to be a major marketing flop, and the company returned to the old flavor 3 months later and branded it as Coca-Cola Classic.
I think it had a big spike in sales for Coca-Cola Classic, though, so maybe it wasn't such a big flop.
And now people are like collecting the old Coca-Cola Classic cans, and oh, they're fine. Coke has had an industry ever since its inception.
I remember I was one of them that was really happy when they brought Coca-Cola Classic out there.
Right.
So,
With Pepsi was already around. It's like, we got options. Don't change it. Okay, moving on. In 1988, a new federal law took effect that banned smoking cigarettes on flights that were under 2 hours. And in 1997, an infertility doctor in California announced a 63-year-old woman had given birth. An infertility doctor or a fertility doctor?
Well, yeah, I think they're one and the same.
Yeah.
If you have infertility problems, you go
you go to a fertility doctor.
See the dude or the gal. And,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. The child was from a donor egg, and she became known as the oldest woman to give birth.
I think he was a fertility doctor in that case.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. In 2005, the first video was uploaded to YouTube. It was uploaded by one of the website's co-founders and was called Me at the Zoo. Don't worry, we've done our research. I've Googled Me at the Zoo. It is still there. It is 19 seconds long, and it's very sweet.
You can watch him at the zoo.
Yes.
All right, for birthdays today, they include wrestler and actor John Cena, who is 48 years old today. He's a funny guy. Comedian George Lopez, another funny guy, turned 64. And Olympic gold medal snowboarder Chloe Kim is 25 today. No idea if she's funny, but I bet she has a good sense of humor too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Cena is quite funny. It was years ago that that he went viral for speaking Mandarin or something really, really well, and it became a meme, and I thought that was quite funny.
Very neat.
Yes.
Happy birthday to you too, if your birthday is today.
Yeah. Happy birthday. Okay, moving on. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. I think I'll take all that sun that we're about to get.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
Here's Devin Biggs with the forecast.
Hey, Craig and Emma, thank you very much. As we get things rolling on this Wednesday, some areas waking up to a little bit of fog this morning. That will be going away as we'll see a good amount of sunshine. Radar and satellite is looking rather clear this morning, so no precipitation, just a little bit of fog in a few spots, but otherwise a nice day in store for us. A little bit of precipitation further off towards the north and a lot more further down toward the south, but we have some nice weather taking place for us this morning and throughout the rest of the day. So a lot of sunshine, maybe some clouds later this afternoon, more clouds, maybe some sprinkles further off towards the north today, but later on tonight, clouds to the north and a lot of clear skies coming up for us. But otherwise, some gusty winds could reach up to 20 to 25 miles per hour today. The wind's starting to calm down later on tonight and looking pretty good as we head towards tomorrow as well. So for today, pretty simple forecast, 60 degrees, partly cloudy, a little breezy out there with with that west wind getting up to about 25 miles per hour. Tonight, mid-30s, mostly clear, calm overall. So again, pretty peaceful evening on the way for us. And then for tomorrow, lower 60s, slightly warmer, increasing clouds throughout the day, and the northwest breeze at about 5 miles per hour. Your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon periods showing some clouds, otherwise temperatures making into the 50s and 60s, and some sunshine mixed in too. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Emma?
Looks great. Thank you, Devin. Well, a manufacturing company in Montville is helping businesses piece together their products for consumers.
At Pieceworks Incorporated, everything is done by hand or small machinery. Our Jody Hersey recently stopped by to learn what's kept this business humming for the past 29 years and counting.
From heated seat cushions to badge reels and packaged dog treats, Pieceworks Inc. in Montville assembles and packages them all.
So it really varies depending on the need of the specific client that we're doing. And I've stayed very versatile all these 29 years.
Kathy Roberts, the president of Pieceworks Inc., comes from a family of entrepreneurs. Working for herself, Roberts was able to raise her children while setting up a manufacturing facility in her home. Years later, she expanded the business and moved Pieceworks Inc. into its own building.
The common thread that connects everyone that comes to Pieceworks is that they need something that still needs to be done with hands. The machinery is usually light machinery. We don't have robotics or anything like that.
One of the companies utilizing Pieceworks is Orono Spectral Solutions in Herman.
So these extractors here that measure oil in water. They make the method to measure oil in water faster, safer, more cost-effective, and it has some unique capabilities, including the ability to identify the oil in the sample. So this is used for drinking water, processed water, and wastewater testing. And what we're trying to do is develop business, international business, using this technology.
Roberts says seeing other businesses thrive and knowing Pieceworks played a small role in that success has been rewarding.
Things are never the same, and the more diversity in what we do, the better for us as a whole.
In Montville, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Good for them. They started off in their house, and now it's this great business.
What a point of pride. For almost 30 years, she set up a successful and diverse manufacturing business in Maine.
She went for it.
I know.
You know?
Yeah, good example. Good example. All right, after the break, Tyler Cruz will have our sports updates.
Don't go away.
Dreaming of a new garage or custom build? Patriot Landscaping and Construction delivers from frame to finish. Expert craftsmanship, durable designs, and quality you can trust, we get it done right. Call Patriot Landscaping and Construction today. Let's build your future together.
America relies on clean, renewable energy. It powers everything, from families to small businesses, from farmers to factories. Clean energy fuels lives and livelihoods. And clean energy tax credits make it happen. They create hundreds of thousands of good-paying jobs across the country, and they lower our energy costs. With clean energy tax credits, the age of American energy independence is here. Call Senator Collins and encourage her to support the clean energy tax credits that power America.
Great Scott! This is Green Bear 420 in 2010. What kind of trip is this? I gotta get back to 2023. Wait, it's 2015. So much has changed. In 2023, we had a lot more glass, t-shirts, and novelties. It's gonna take a bolt of lightning to get me home. Finally, home at last. Now Green Bear 420, Green Bear Green Care is bigger and better than ever. To be continued.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Dreaming of a new garage or custom build? Patriot Landscaping and Construction delivers from frame to finish. Expert craftsmanship, durable designs, and quality you can trust, we get it done right. Call Patriot Landscaping and Construction today. Let's build your future together.
Deep in the heart of Alabama is the home of chaos and chance. The Jack Links 500 from Talladega, Sunday at 2 Eastern on Fox.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. For the first time since being drafted, Celtics forward Jason Tatum is on the verge of missing a playoff game. Tatum has played in all of Boston's 114 playoff games since being drafted in 2017, but that could all change on Wednesday night when the Celtics take on Orlando in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference quarterfinals. Tatum falling hard on this play in the third quarter of Sunday's win. It was later deemed a flagrant 1 foul on Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. The Celtics have officially marked him as doubtful for Game 2. Even though he finished out Game 1, he's got a bone bruise in his right wrist. Joe Mazzulla giving an update saying JT was working at practice, but he is still a little banged up.
He was sore after the game. It's gotten a little bit better today. He was able to go through some on-court work and, we'll go from there.
You think he's going to be good to go tomorrow?
Day to day.
Boston is 8-2 without Tatum this year, but those 2 losses have come to Orlando. Game 2 tips off Wednesday night at 7 p.m. And on the same note, Boston's Peyton Pritchard was named the NBA's Sixth Man of the Year after a stellar season off the bench. Moving on now, we will head to the Diamond, where the Bucksport baseball team is preparing to open their season on Wednesday. Our Jack Webb has the story.
So fired up, so ready. Can't wait.
Bucksport baseball opens their season on Friday, and their focus will be on defense.
We got to focus a lot on just staying true to the ball and not worrying about field condition. I mean, it's going to be cold, it's going to be wet, but we just got to deal with that part. And, I mean, if you mess up, you just slap yourself in the back and make the next play. Definitely focus on not allowing those errors to snowball into other ones to make more mistakes.
Yeah, in the preseason, we've had some runs just coming off of walks and off of errors, so we're just trying to limit that.
They'll take on the Ellsworth Eagles at 1 p.m. down in Ellsworth. The defending Class C state champs are hoping this season brings a 4th consecutive Class C North title for the Golden Bucks. However, they'll look a little different this year, losing multiple key pieces to graduation. But even though the now Bucksport alum can't help on the field, the lessons they passed along still have an impact.
It's actually super helpful that we had a great program before, like my freshman year, because I learned from them how to teach younger players, and overall it makes it a lot easier when you have people ahead of you too. We had like 5 or 6 seniors that started, so it was definitely a big loss, but we have a lot of good guys that are coming up that can take on those roles that we need. And I think we definitely have a good opportunity this year.
One of the most important lessons that's been passed down through Bucksport baseball, the ability to have fun in the midst of an intense season.
I think it's just how much fun we have at practice. We get serious when we need to get serious, but we also like to have fun.
We got to work a lot on just teamwork, just being a team, having fun together, and just playing the game of baseball, and of course bringing all of our qualities together.
From Bucksport, Jack Webb, ABC7 Fox 22 Sports.
Thank you for that, Jack. Just like Bucksport, spring sports teams opening their season this week as we all get into full swing. We've got some lacrosse from Cameron Stadium on Tuesday afternoon. The Bangor boys beginning the 2025 campaign against the Red Eddies from Edward Little. Second half, Eddies up. Ryan Malakis fires to Dexter Morin. He rips one on net, and that one gets through. Eddies up 5-1. Here they come again now. This time it's Oren Slover from behind the net. Sends it to Nolan Heath. He fires in the air. He finds the back of the net. Bangor getting some stops now. Eddie's staying aggressive in the third. They fire a shot from Caden Strout, but Nick Horton is there for the save in net. Here he is again. Eddies have a great chance. Hunter Bailey finds Slover, and he is stonewalled at the net by Horton. But that offensive aggression paying off. Hayden Emery gets it in close. He shoots and he scores. Edward Little opens the season hot. They win it 8-3. Finally, next month, a very unique opportunity is coming to Bangor and is available for all basketball coaches of all age groups across the state of Maine. The Maine Basketball Hall of Fame is hosting their second annual coaching clinic. The clinic is on Saturday, May 17th over at Hollywood Slots and Casino, and all coaches and their staff are welcome to join. We have more information on how to sign up on our website. Registration for the day begins at 8:15, and then several speakers with diverse basketball backgrounds will give presentations throughout the day. Tuesday. Those speakers include Colby men's basketball coach Damian Strayhorn. He's been leading the Mules for 14 seasons. Husson women's hoops coach Kissy Walker follows him. She's a Hall of Famer, over 600 victories in her 30 years as a coach. Player development specialist and Results Basketball co-founder Matt McKenzie follows. He trains everyone from the youth levels all the way to college. He's more known as Cooper Flagg's trainer. Winslow's Ken Lindloff is after lunch. He currently leads the Black Raiders, but was the Waterville coach for decades. He won a gold ball back in '85. Allison Montgomery, the Bates women's head coach, follows him. She's coming off a NESCAC title in 2022. And Max Good, who has been everywhere from MCI Prep to University of Nevada, Las Vegas to Bryant, Loyola Marymount, and more. He finishes the day off as the final presenter of the afternoon. Maine Basketball Hall of Fame Executive Director Todd Hansen says the clinic is an awesome opportunity to both learn and network with peers and even competitors.
It's a great weekend of connecting with other coaches, with networking with other coaches, and learning from really high level. We're lucky in Maine. We have some really high level coaches that love to share and love to teach, and it's a fantastic opportunity.
All right, that is all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
If you have to ask why it's important to start your day early, here's your answer.
Wake up to a sausage McMuffin with egg for $3 and any size iced coffee for $1.29.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Next Level dog people give their dogs next level protection with NexGuard Plus. One and done monthly parasite protection against fleas, ticks, heartworm disease, roundworms, and hookworms. Used with caution in dogs with a history of seizures or neurologic disorders. Get next level protection with NexGuard Plus.
Stop waiting for online orders. Rock Auto Parts ship in a few hours, 24 hours a day. On the carrier you choose, with tracking at each step.
All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
John Brown first opened his own appliance store in Ellsworth in 1976. With his gift of storytelling, a strong work ethic, and a philosophy of putting others first, John and his wife and children saw the business prosper and grow. Today's third and fourth generation of family and their entire team continue to follow the example set by their grandparents and parents. Brown Appliance and Mattress, High Street, Ellsworth, a family tradition of quality, value, and customer service that always puts you first.
A Bangor nonprofit is working to help people get off the streets and into housing through a low-barrier employment program.
It helps us get away from our daily struggles and focus on, what life is about.
But we're seeing pretty remarkable results in terms of access to additional services, to housing, to medication-assisted treatment, and things like that.
We'll share more about the impact this pilot program is having on the community Friday on Fox 22 News after the game.
They say that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Well, they are correct.
Grab any size iced coffee for $1.29 and pair it with a bagel sandwich.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
On Tuesday, the Bureau of Motor Vehicles and Eastern Maine Community College hosted a free catalytic converter etching event. Vehicles were taken into the automotive shop on a first-come, first-served basis. Attendees could also register online for a specific time slot. EMCC, criminal justice, and automotive technology students assisted and etched the markings for each vehicle's catalytic converter. According to the chief detective for the BMV, the purpose of this is to keep thefts down and for vehicle owners to have a form of identification that can be traced back to the vehicle of origin. Students also got hands-on experience and knowledge through this partnership.
It's great getting to know these people over here at this the automotive department and getting to know these people here from the BMV detective agency. It's great getting to work hand in hand with them here at EMCC.
According to the National Automobile Dealers Association, there was a roughly 900% increase in catalytic converter thefts between 2019 and 2023. Maine state law added penalties for thefts and also required dealerships to engrave the full VIN number on converters. That law changed a couple years ago. It did also consequently make catalytic converters a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
And I have a dual exhaust, so I know that
you've been through it
very personally.
Yeah.
It is deeply hurtful.
I'm sorry. Sorry you're reliving that memory now.
I know, but no, it's so nice to hear that. They were able to learn and also help bring down costs for consumers, because you need a catalytic converter to get your inspection sticker.
Yeah. All right. And they're getting some great experience at the same time.
Great experience, yeah.
All right. Time for a final look at that forecast with Devin Biggs.
Alrighty, Craig and Emma, thank you very much. On this Wednesday, we have no advisories in effect on land or even along the coast, so we're starting off with the wave heights this morning. Not too bad overall, 3 feet according to the buoys nearby, some darker blues nearby too. So overall, the wave heights pretty relaxed, and farther out towards sea, a little bit more active, but overall 3 to 4 foot wave heights are being observed at this moment in time, so nothing too ridiculous going on here. I haven't shown you the water temperatures in a bit, and of course still cold out there, lower 40s for those water temperatures at this moment in time, a little bit warmer farther out towards sea. On land, some areas of dense fog greeting us this morning, maybe reducing things in Washington County, even near the Bangor area too. We'll get any kind of fog out of here today with a nice day on the way with a good amount of sunshine. Overall, again, not looking too bad, maybe some precipitation off toward the north, and again, overall, a lot of sunshine on the way for us, and maybe some clouds as we head towards the afternoon period. Larger pictures showing a little bit of precipitation further down toward the south in a few spots, including parts of Texas, even across parts of the Midwest. But again, we're in that nice spot where things are staying dry at this moment in time. So maybe a few sprinkles further off towards the north today, but in our neck of the woods, a lot of sunshine, maybe some clouds for the afternoon period. Coming up later on tonight, any clouds that develop, we'll be getting out of here. We'll be under a mostly clear sky. Again, some clouds lingering further off towards the north. Then once we head towards your Thursday, overall we'll have increasing clouds throughout the day, thankfully less wind. Then even by Thursday night, watching out for some rain that will be developing. Otherwise, again, gusty winds reaching up to 20 to 25 miles per hour today, calming down later on tonight, and even for tomorrow, not looking too bad either. So fortunately, we just have to get through today, and we're looking good. Maybe later into the afternoon, maybe some gusty winds along the coast. Temperatures recently, we had a nice warm stretch from Friday of last week through at least Monday, with temperatures overall that were in the 60s. And yesterday, of course, a little bit cooler, 47 degrees. That's about 9 degrees or so below normal. Our average high temperature should be at around 57 degrees, and we'll be above that today in the lower to middle 60s coming up over the next few days. Low 60s today and tomorrow, mid 60s Friday, then low 50s Saturday, back in the 50s and 60s Sunday, Monday, and also into your Tuesday. For today, low 60s, partly cloudy and breezy, west wind at around 25 miles per hour. By tonight, mid 30s, mostly clear with the wind overall looking nice and calm. Tomorrow, low 60s, increasing clouds, northwest wind at about 5 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast. So mostly cloudy for your Friday with highs in the mid 60s. Low 50s Saturday, we cool off with rain moving in, and a small chance for rain showers Sunday, otherwise partly cloudy with highs in the upper 50s.
Is your driveway in distress? Dirt yard dragging you down? Call Paramount Paving, Penobscot County's most trusted name in driveways. With more than 1,000 jobs installed and a 4.5 rating on Google, it's easy to see why. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount. Call today for your free estimate.
Fires, floods, burst pipes. Disasters happen, but the mess they leave behind doesn't have to last. For 40 years, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration has been there to help Mainers get back to the closest to normal as they can. When your property is at its worst, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration is at their best, and they have been for 4 decades. Put your trust in the Bouchard team. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. You keep the memories, we'll handle the rest.
Onboard Wi-Fi that goes wherever you go. How it should be. The Hyundai Elantra.
Lease a Hyundai Elantra for $169 a month for 24 months, or get 3.99% APR for 72 months today.
When it comes to your home, go to the source. Go to R&B's Home Source in Madison. R&B's Home Source has home comfort, convenience, and savings all wrapped up in one location. From the living room to the dining room to the bedroom, we have some of the best values in furniture and bedding. For the kitchen, R&B's Home Source has top-notch appliances from fridges to ranges, even washers and dryers. And sit back and relax with quality electronics. We service everything we sell too. For your home, go to the source. R&B's Home Source, Lakewood Road, Madison.
Is your driveway in distress? Dirt yard dragging you down? Call Paramount Paving, Penobscot County's most trusted name in driveways. With more than 1,000 jobs installed and a 4.5 rating on Google, it's easy to see why. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount. Call today for your free estimate.
Finally now, a rare World War II plane is touring the country. The B-29 Superfortress, named Doc, is in Goodyear, Arizona. Doc is one of two B-29 Superfortresses still flying. It was on active duty from 1945 through 56. The Superfortress is named Doc because it was part of a squadron of 8 planes, each named for a character from Snow White. Doc tours the country 6 months of the year, and a group called Doc's Friends uses the winter months to maintain Doc. So you'll have to Google it if you want to check it out on tour.
Maybe you can go see it locally. Who knows?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Looks like we are out of time. If you missed anything, head to foxbangor.com.
Have a great day, everyone.